Oh, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Northwest Race Report. I'm your horsepower and performance broadcaster, Terry Bridges, and welcome to another edition of the Winning Wednesday. Boy, have we've got some stuff going on. Let's see here. First things first, it's been kind of a tough road, the last few days. I hate to say it, and I hate to start the show off with some bad news, but nonetheless, it goes like this. We lost some very good people this week. And on the flat track side of things, we lost an awesome racer. His name was Steve Brzezinski. He was a regular at the Rainier Bowl and ran a lot of their flat track events along with Danny Cooley, who puts on the great show there. So a big loss there on the flat track motorcycle side. On the karting side, we lost two very wonderful people. We lost the man they called Johnny Rotten, the dastardly John Adams. Now, I say that lovingly because John Adams was anything but rotten. I mean, let me just make that clear. He was a super good guy, great for the sport, avid racer, just, man, it was just awesome. Hey, Dan Watkins, you are P1, buddy, tonight. Right on for that. Ryan Oakes says, I might be in a motel, but, hey, I appreciate you tuning in. That is fantastic. Thanks for tuning in tonight. But Johnny Rotten, John Adams, he was a member of the Portland Karting Association for a little while. He was just a great guy, and we lost him on last Thursday, helping a buddy out, and had a heart attack, and boom, there it is. Scott Warning, thanks for tuning in, bud. And you're third tonight, by the way, so you make the podium. And then also we lost a lovely lady by the name of Marilyn Lehman. Boy, what do you say about Marilyn? Anybody who has been karting in the Northwest around here knows her. I mean, she was a mom to everybody. She was really involved in the karting scene back in her younger days. And on the administrative side of things, I mean, it's more like, what didn't she do? I mean, she did everything from registration to everything in the club. Plus, she kept an eye on Jack Lehman and Dave Lehman as well. So, you know what kind of lady she is dealing with those two. JP Karting, you're P4 tonight. It's going great, man. Thanks for tuning in. Joe Penatel, he's awesome. Thanks for being here tonight. And so, we lose Marilyn Lehman, John Adams, and then, of course, we lose on the announcer side. We lose a great one in Steve Burns, who passed away at the young age of 56. Boy, that makes me start thinking, because I'm 52. Case Hankins in the house. P5 tonight, baby. You outdo one time. One time he's not even the same zip code, I don't think, right now. So and yes, go Mariners, right on. Boy, I'll tell you. So Steve Burns passes. What's cool is he got to see, I know that I think Bristol did a thing for him a week prior to his death that he got to see. So it was pretty cool. And but it's unfortunate that he passed. He was a great announcer. He had a stellar career in the broadcasting community. And so, it's just a horrible thing when you lose people. But, we know what's coming. The good thing about Marilyn is she's no longer suffering. I know she had been sick for some time. So my thoughts and prayers go to Jack and Dave and the whole rest of the Lehman family, as well as John Adams' family. Some of you may not have known John, but he was just a cool guy. I how do I describe him? I guess, I wouldn't actually say hippie, but he was just a good old down to earth guy. He wasn't he didn't. I mean, he was just a normal guy. I mean, he didn't dress real flat. He was jeans and a T-shirt most of the time. He just liked to be comfortable, baseball cap. He just loved to go racing. He bought some nice stuff. It wasn't, the top of the flight, top of the line, pristine, polished, pretty, and all. But you know what? He was always there. He always ran hard. He was always competitive. And, he was just John Adams was just a dang good guy. I mean, just one of those guys, when you go to the track, he's always joking and smiling. It's just good to be around. Made wherever you were at just a little bit better. So it hit me pretty hard when I heard that Johnny Rotten had passed. Wow, he was just a neat guy. I mean, just a super cool guy. So this show, while we've got a minute before we get too carried away, and I also want to say, even though he hasn't passed, thank goodness, he's still a young buck, but I want to give a shout to Austin Bradshaw. And you see his photos everywhere because he's the owner of Flying By Photo. So he does a lot of road race stuff. But Austin broke his arm really bad, and but is thankfully on the mend. So, Austin, just want to give a shout-out to you. I'm not trying to lop you in with this group that has just passed. Not that it's a bad thing, but just to tell you we're thinking about you too. So I'd just like to take a moment of silence, if we could, just a quick one, and and just a brief moment of silence. And I'd like to dedicate this show to all of those that we lost this week. All right. So we got a great show for you. The awesome Garrett Evans is going to be our in-the-seat guest. If you don't know who Garrett Evans is, late model fans, I'm sure anybody who's anybody does. He's the only 4-time winner of the NASCAR Northwest Tour. He's the most money-winning earning person on the tour. He's got wins in Winston West. He's got wins in the late models. I mean, he's the guy's just amazing, and he owns the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. And so we'll be talking to him tonight. I'm looking forward to talking to the G-Man about this weekend's upcoming Leonard Evans 200 late model show. It's a $10,000 to win show. And yeah, man. And boy, does Cali need some rain. I know it's pretty bad down there. They're talking about even William Shatner's talking about getting Washington, the state of Washington, building some pipeline. It's like, dude, we don't have that much time. I mean, what? This isn't Star Trek. You can't, beam up a new water pipeline. But nonetheless, that is that's kind of the start of the show. We got some good stuff where you got lots and lots and lots of results from the weekend. And so I guess it's time to get started with the on the grid. On the grid coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, it's the big Leonard Evans 200 late model show. It's $10,000 to win for the super lates, $2K for the mini stocks, and it's going to be one heck of a show. I'll be there to bring you all the action live, starting with qualifying on Saturday afternoon. I think that gets underway about 4:45. So, and then they're going to run their consolation events and that type of thing on Saturday. And then on Sunday, they're going to be bringing you all the main events. So knowing Garrett and knowing the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, it's going to be quite a show. So I hope that all of you guys will tune in and check out my show. It's my first time I'm going to be streaming it live. I will not be on the PA. At least I don't think so. But so I'm going to be set up, and I'm just going to be bringing you the live race action. So it's going to be a little bit different for me. But I'm looking forward to it. I got to say, I'm a little bit nervous, but that's okay. I think I'll get over that once things get rolling. But anyway, Saturday night, Evergreen Speedway will be rolling their Speedy Saturday show. They have a show I think they have it every Friday night and Saturday, but I don't know if the late models are going to be there on tap on Saturday or not because of this big show here, but I could be wrong. But the best thing to do is check out the Evergreen Speedway online. Check out their webpage, and but hopefully all the late model fans are going to be at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval watching the great race action over there. Oh, Sunday is the big karting swap meet. My cohort in crime, my my co-host, Shane One-Time Smith, is putting on the big karting swap meet. It's all karting. There's no car stuff or whatever, so it's all for the go-karters. It's going to be taking place at the Grand Prix Raceway, the indoor karting facility in Lakewood, Washington. They're going to be out in the parking lot. Hopefully, if you're going to attend or sell some parts, be sure you bring a cover because it might be a little bit wet. So hopefully, it doesn't rain too hard. But you were in L.A. last weekend, Warning? And it rained twice when you were there. Yeah, my in-laws just went to Disneyland, and they were looking forward to the sun and all this because it was rainy up here. And the first couple of days they got there, I guess a big storm rolled in and just dumped rain. So, bummer. So Scott Warning was in L.A. What were you doing in L.A., Warning? Are you out here snooping on these UAS guys out here, or were you reporting into Mike Burris, getting the latest and greatest stuff on the new 37-inch slicks that they got out? Anyway, so that's what's going on there. So bring all your stuff that you've been trying to get rid of. You've cleaned out the shop. You don't know where to get rid of it at. Some of it, one man's junk is another man's gold. Yes, absolutely. That's right. He said wet, Dave Chisholm. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. And so bring your stuff. Get rid of it. Everyone's invited to stop by, shop, bench race. You know the deal. And just have a good time. Things are going to kick off 10 a.m. They go till 4 p.m. Bring your helmet because I'm sure there's going to be some indoor karting going on at the Grand Prix Raceway in Lakewood, Washington. Be there or be square. Sunday, the Oregon State Karting Championship Series returns for round 2 of their 10-race season. The series alternates between the Mack Track in McMinnville Raceway Park, and the historic Pat's Acres Racing Complex. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't ever been to Pat's Acres, I don't care if you're a dirt guy or not, if you've never been to Pat's Acres, your karting career will not be complete until you make a visit here. It's that cool. The setting's cool. The track's cool. It's awesome. Round 2 is this Sunday, and it'll be at the Pat's Acres Racing Complex. That's in Canby, Oregon. Great new owners there. Chris Eggers had it for quite a little bit, but he does a nice job, and he's the track's always in nice shape, and he does a great job out there. So, Chris, if you're listening in, big shout-out to the Pat's Acres Racing Complex. I'm going to miss the opening race because I'm going to be up at Wenatchee, but that's all cleared. I'll be at every other Oregon State Karting Championship Series event calling their shots. So looking forward to that, as well as the Gold Cup. I'll be over there on May 20, what is it? I think it's May 22nd, 23rd, 24. I will be over there calling the Northwest Gold Cup and the Nitro Radish Pro 400 Series, as well as the Smack Plastics Pro 400 Series for the Rotax guys. So that's going to be super, super cool. Oh, man, my man, Mr. DB in the house. Mr. Dan Barry in the cheap seats, he says. Well, hey, cheap and being there is better than expensive and not, I guess, a guy could say. So the Oregon State Karting Championship, so that's on Sunday at Pat's Acres. The first annual Arizona Desert Heat is coming up on May 16th. This is a cool deal. Those of you who know Joe Torres, great guy down there, part of the Arizona Karting Association. $500 in prize money, 2 drivers, 1 kart, and 50 laps. So how it's going to work is each driver's got to do 25 laps, and they are going to be it's going to be interesting because even when you start, they're gonna flip a coin to see which one of the drivers starts. So if you're thinking strategy's kind of out the window because you don't know who's going to start. You can come in at 25 laps, they're going to stop. You can change fuel, and you can change one tire only while you swap drivers. And then they start the second half of the deal. Kind of a different deal, but it's for Yamaha guys, the KT100. So hopefully this first annual one will be good enough that it'll give Joe Torres some initiative to keep it going. But he is putting on the event. If you have any questions, you can. He's the man to talk to. You can get a hold of Joe Torres on his Facebook page, or you can contact the Arizona Karting Association for more in-depth details. It's going to be a great show, so hopefully those of you that can will go down, and those of you listening in that are close in that area, go support the first annual Arizona Desert Heat on May 16th. They've already got $500 in prize money. I think they're going to give away some Burris tires, because I know Burris was involved. So, man, that's cool stuff. Mike Burris getting involved in all this different stuff. He's involved in the UAS. I mean, he pretty much helps out everything. So, any chance we get, we should be supporting Mike Burris as well, because they do more than just tires, too. They're making some cool starters that they got that are made for the big stuff, for the Jawas and all that cool stuff. So check them out. Burris Racing, everything's made in America. They're proud of it, and we should be too. So that's what's coming up there. If I missed anything, I'm trying to get everything I can. So if you know of something, or that you've got a big something or other that you want announced, let me know. Give me a shout or drop it by the Northwest Race Report Facebook page. Send me a message, and we'll get it rocking for you. But moving on, it's time for Winner's Circle Wednesday. This is kind of cool. This is a lot of the results from over the weekend, and there was a gob of them, and I'm sure I've missed probably some of them, but, moving on, Strebby Speedway had their season opener this weekend, and those of you that know Strebby Speedway, it's kind of a different deal. This is a unique situation. The track operates by invitation only, so you don't just get to show up and run. They've got what they call the Mean 18, and these are the folks that are in. And the way it works is you get in, and you're part of the main deal, but you have to show up. So if you start, for example, you're in and you start missing races, or whatever, they appreciate a call to let them know you're going to miss. But if you start missing races, then they've got a waiting list. I think Joe Constance is on the waiting list. There's several people that are on I think there's like 4 or 5 people on the waiting list, and then you're like a sub. And so it's kind of a cool deal. It's in this guy's backyard, and so it's kind of a unique deal. He gets to run the rules. His name is Matt Strebby, and it's up there in Snohomish, Washington. But Shane Smith says it's awesome. They run some great races up there, and it's pretty small. It's like an 8-second track, but it's and you've got to have a 5-horse Briggs & Stratton. So it's pretty much, it's not a great big wild and crazy deal. All the motors are the same. You get out there, you've got to have it's got to be a race cart. You can go to www.strebbyspeedway.wordpress.com, and that's their website. They've got a great website. I'm going to tell you, they've got info, they've got schedules, they've got the results. The results are killer. I wish everybody posted results like that. I mean, they have lap leaders. They have the all-time winning who's won main events. Tim Chase in the house. What is going on, Tim Chase? Smoking Tim Chase, by the way. Lonnie Teacott. Ooh, wow. Wow-wee, that's pretty awesome. Good to see Lonnie Teacott. He's coming off a big win. I think it was, what was it? It was a couple weeks ago. He won the clone class down there at Dixon. So way to go, Lonnie Teacott. I told you, see, you put those plans in motion, and things started perking up right away. But anyway, Strebby Speedway, the Mean 18, and they had their opener, and they had a record. They had the most karts entered at 17, and they tied the record for the most racers entered at 20. So typically, a lot of times, I think what happens is, 2 guys run the same kart, that kind of thing. So, cool stuff. Excuse me. And so that happened this weekend, and Kinsey Thomas was fast time with an 8.64. Now, I got to go out and tell you, the all-time track record, the ultimate track record, fastest lap they've ever seen at Strebbe Speedway was set by our own UAS administrator, the Rocket Ronnie Cox, at an 8.01. However, it wasn't gas. It was a methanol-powered machine. But nonetheless, he has the all-time track record there at an 8.01. So the Rocket, he gets her done. But check this out. 1 through 16th in qualifying was separated by just 0.7 of a second. So that's pretty cool. B-Main was won by Michael Strebbe. He is their all-time main event winner. And then the feature went to Alan Terrell. So Alan Terrell took the lead from Kinsey Thomas on lap 6. Never looked back, led from lap 7 to lap 30 and to take the feature. And they call it the Ultimate Bull Ring, and their next race is May the 3rd. So like I said, StrebbeSpeedway.wordpress.com is their website. Stop by there. Like it for them. It's a cool thing. I've been kind of talking back and forth with them to see if I'm going to, 4th of July, they're having a big, they call it the Firecracker 40 they're going to have. And so I may be there streaming it live. Who knows? It's kind of in the works right now. So the Can-Am Rotax Pro Kart Challenge Series, the Asphalt Boys, the big dogs, were in town. They were at the Horn Rapids Raceway in Tri-Cities. And DB will appreciate this. The shifter class, Kyle Wick was fast time both days, and he swept both finals, so he swept the class. And he qualified on Saturday to 37.096 and a 37.063 on Sunday. That's almost in the 36s. That's, I think, unheard of, blazing fast. I mean, 37.0. I mean, wow, doggy. Track records don't mean anything. Just ask anyone that doesn't hold any. Well, you're right, Tim. You mean to tell me smoking Stephen Chase doesn't have a track record anywhere? I find that hard to believe. So Wick wins both days in shifters, and he beat some boys, too. Corey Estelle was second. Joe Criscione. Joe I Can Roll. Criscione was third. Justin Walsh fourth. Justin Taylor was fifth, and that's the way they were on Sunday, too, as well. Not a lot of shifters, but the quality was good. Rotax Jr., day 1 went to Michael McCarthy. I think he had the pole as well. Day 2 went to Stingray Rob. Nick Bruckner came in, and on Sunday was fast time, but they couldn't withstand the charge of our own Stingray Rob, who's making quite a name for himself. LO206, they've got an LO206 junior, senior. They run them all together. Dave Manthai, 45.032 was fast time on Saturday. Connor Wick took the win on Saturday, and I believe that was good for the juniors. Brian Green took the win on Saturday for the seniors. On Sunday, Mason Buck was fast time and took the final. He went a 44.518. And Stefano Nikhil, I do believe, took the win in the senior class, but I'll have to double-check that. They mix everything together, so it's kind of hard to see who won what. But anyway, Micromax, Ashton Torgerson from down in Medford. The Torgerson, his dad owns, they put on all the big monster truck shows all over the world. I mean, it's amazing. It's like monster truck mayhem, and that's what his dad does, and they're all over. They're in Australia. I mean, they're everywhere, and that's what they do is they put that on. So Ashton was fast time, 42.844, and on Saturday, and he won it on Saturday too, by the way. And then Sunday, Diego LaRock was fast time. Diego's a great kid, and he's making quite a hit name for himself as well, but he went a 43.031. However, Josh Pearson rebounded from a tough weekend, or actually a tough Saturday, where he popped his motor, and he took the win. So congratulations to Josh Pearson. Those of you that are asphalt guys, which aren't a lot maybe here, but Aaron Nelliton is the driving coach for Josh Pearson, and he is quite a guy. He was a factory driver for Sodi back in the day, so yeah, he can roll it. He knows what he's doing. So congrats to Aaron Nelliton. Minimax went to Grant Langdon. He swept both days. Jonathan Ports was from Corvallis, Oregon. He was second both days. So congratulations to Grant. And he was fast time both days as well in Minimax. And I think Jacob Blue Hudson was third on Saturday and fourth on Sunday. So congratulations to those Northwest guys. Rotax senior Christian Burks took it. 38.512 is what he qualified, and he took the win on Saturday. On Sunday, Luke Selican took fast time. He was fast time by over a half a second. And let's see here. No, I think it was 0.3 or 0.4. Anyway, but he was fast time, but the win went to hometown boy AC3 Artie Carpenter. Took the win. So congratulations to Artie on that. Good to see him running hard. Spokane ran this weekend, but they put their results up. I couldn't, they put up each heat, and it didn't have who won. And frankly, I didn't have time to add up everything. I don't even know how they added it up. So, but they did run. I know Diane Perry won a heat race. There were several that ran. Diane Perry won a heat race, I believe. Let's see. Ryan Krasselt was there. His son Austin was there. So I don't know exactly. Like I said, it didn't make any sense. So I'm sorry, Spokane. Next time, put the final results in there. Chris Newton in the house. Sweet. Yes, he did, and I'm getting to that, Chris, because he's coming up. The Dixon Micros ran last weekend. 1 3/4 restricted went to Tucker Lecrae's. Junior sprints was Cody Parmley. Wingless went to Blake McGowdy. The 250s, Derek Overcamp won it, and the Super 600s went to Mike Wasina Jr. So, yeah, that was pretty good down there. Southern Oregon Speedway opened up. The mini stocks went to Dave Marble. Pro stock went to Dave Everson. The dwarfs was won by Josh King. The IMCA modifieds, Jesse Bailey won that, and the 360 sprints went to Seth Nunes. So I don't know how many of you guys been down to Southern Oregon, but it's pretty cool. Paris World Outlaws, Paul McCann wins it. Joey Saldana second, Donnie Schatz third. The UAS boys, Capital City Speedway, that's a 1/4 mile dirt track there. Pete Decker wins it. Nick Hall was second, and third went to John Decker. I don't know how West Snow did. I didn't get any results from that 1,000 to win show back there this weekend, but I don't know that they ran. There was some talk. Dave Chisholm had some stuff online that the race got moved to the 23rd, so more coming on that. Cottage Grove had their season opener, their weekly show. The NWX Sprints went to Dave Hibbard. The Hornets, Dan Jenkinson was your winner. Late models went to Curtis Town. And the NWX Modifieds, Gene Ashley won that. And the street stocks, Steve Dubiskar was your winner. So congratulations all those down at the Grove. Willamette Speedway opened up as well. The Classics went to Justin Lucas. The Outlaws, household name there, Rob Maya wins it. The Sportsman was run by Jeff Rash. And the Super Sports was Dan Dybel was your winner there. And Troy Diotti, Mr. Diotti in the house. What is going on, Papa Hitman? Good to see you here. I'm doing fantastic. I'm even better now that Papa Hitman's in the house. Oh, Evergreen Speedway. Here you go, Chris Newton. The Hornets was won by Mike Ridley. The late models, Mike Holden won it. However, Go-Karters Luke Selican, he was second. And I'm telling you, he is gonna be the next deal. I'm just gonna tell you right now. You heard it here first. I've been watching him since he was a little go-karter in the 4 cycles. He is gonna be something else. I'm telling you. And he was second on Saturday night. Molly Helmet, Schreiber, I guess, was right there, and he got taken out on the last lap, turn 4. But Schreiber's a former go-karter, Mr. Excitement, getting it done. He was 6th. Molly Helmuth was 7th. So we got a couple. Good to see Molly running up there near the top 5. That's awesome. So let's see here. The Pro 4 trucks went to Rick Schaefer. Street stocks, Jim Fody. The Outlaw Figure 8s was won by Quentin Borison. Sounds like that guy is pretty fast, too. I got to get out there and check this out. Silver Dollar Speedway. Kobe Copeland takes the 410 pole and the feature. So Kobe Copeland, right on, my man. You can roll it. The Dirt Mods went to Dwayne Cleveland. Economy Sprints went to Justin Henry. And cool stuff there. Let me see. I think they had one more down there. Did they? Yeah, the Hobby Stock went to Bruce Cooper. And the Limited Lates went to Ryan McDaniel. So big shout out to those guys. Congratulations. Sunset Speedway. Let's see. The 4Bs went to Chris Battaglia. So congratulations, Chris. The IMCA Mods went to the Superman, Colin Weinberger. And the Dwarfs, Guy Toe Jr. won it. Pure Stocks went to Ken Chave. Street Stocks went to Tony Catalano. And up at Deming, they had an opener up there. The 1200s, Jake Helsel won it. The 600Rs went to Riley Watkins. The 600s went to Jared Peterson. And I got to give a big shout out to one of my favorite racers that runs there, Peyton Reed. He came back from, I think he started 7th or something, and so he finishes in 4th in the 600. So way to go, Peyton Reed. You the man. Let's see here. So the 600s went to Jared Peterson. The junior sprints went to Peyton Rainbow. And the midgets went to Mike Volbrecht. And that's kind of what's happening there. I'm just going to say, there it is right there. May 9th is the 800 to win Mississippi UAS regional point race. So that'll be I believe that's a quarter point race. May 23rd is the rain date. May 24th is the second annual Mississippi-Tennessee UAS Clash. Now, I would like to see that. That would be cool. I would like to see a complete UAS Clash anyway. West, East, Midwest, everybody. I think that would be flipping off the charts. That's what I know. So, I'm just kind of wondering, JP, so what's going on with Loughton and Bad Brad? Have you guys, I don't know what your schedule's like this season, but yeah. Oh, okay, Wes Snow. He's going to have their races this Saturday pending the weather. And that's what's happening here. I hope it doesn't get over there. Typically, Wenatchee's the banana belt. It stays pretty dry over there, but we're expecting a little bit of rain, so hopefully the mountains take care of that. But, it'd be interesting to know, JP, what you guys are doing. I don't know when is the regional, the quarter point race down there for the UAS guys, down south, the NorCal and you guys. I don't know. I know each one is going to get one. So it'd be interesting to see what's happening down there. Tim Chase, do you know? I haven't seen the schedule. I don't. Really what we should do is try to develop a UAS page that it just kind of covers everybody. Like on Facebook or something. I wouldn't mind. I would help get the page rolling if, make the header stuff like I did for the Northwest Unlimited All-Stars. But nonetheless, 1,000 to Win this Saturday has been canceled. So, and moved to on May 30th. So that is, so that's the weekend after Memorial Day. That's probably smart. But good stuff. I mean, I love Warning's, his little, what do they call those things? His little identifier. God, they call him something. I'm not sure what they call him. But anyways, got the cover of his son on Muscle Magazine. So, So Joe Warning doing a nice job. He won a big show. I don't. It wasn't 1,000 to Win, was it? I don't think, but he won a big one at Little Eldora here a couple weeks ago. So, good deal. So you're getting to take a break while they're running their own cars. That's kind of cool. I just think it's cool that you're a car owner and you give those guys a shot. I think that's pretty cool. So do you go watch Bad Brad run his IMCA? I don't know. Has he been running that a whole bunch, or I'm not sure. I guess I need to get in touch with these guys. Avatar. There you go. Thank you, Kevin Bridges. That's what it's called. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And those of you that don't know Kevin, I'm telling you, this guy builds some of the nicest stuff you've ever seen. Machinist he is, and boy, he's got a beautiful 450 UAS kart that hopefully we'll get to see out here this season sometime. But yeah, Kevin Bridges can build them. Let me tell you. And I do got to say too, I went out to the Puyallup Spring Fair. Those of you that have been listening in, been following, know that Scott McDowell, who is the PR person for the Cascade Karting Association, has been very big on getting this new LO206 winged cage kart class for the youngsters going, and I just think it's fantastic. Well, he got a great booth out there, and on Friday, I went out and spent the day out there with McDowell and Wayne Thompson, former president of CKA, and we had some good times. It was great being with those guys, and then we got some cool film. Those of you that saw it on the Northwest Race Report page, some big one-time Shane Smith fans, some young kids, and even a lady said she was rolling with One Time and she loved it. So One Time is he's big business out here, the One Time Motorsports. So that's pretty cool stuff. But it was a great. They had a great area where they were at. And it was just, it was perfect because it was kind of right by the entry, right by the exit. Lots of people stopping by and asking about it. I mean, in some ways you go, well, yeah, they're just talking about it. But at least they're getting exposed to it. And they were great. Scott was letting them sit in the karts. They were having to climb in. And so they were kind of actually learning as they went along, too, a little bit. So that was cool. It was just really a good time. And they had 3 days of it. So big shout-out to Scott McDowell and Scott Sealcoat and the Cascade Karting Association. Lippy was out there, too. Glenn Tower, the current president. And that was pretty cool. Where is Hanford at? I saw that because the World of Outlaws were there, too. And I don't know where Hanford is. It's got to be somewhere down there by Paris, I would imagine. But and how did Brad do in his modified? I mean, I imagine it's pretty sweet, but that's good. You know what, Scott? It doesn't matter. Regular open race, whatever. You win back there in anything, and personally, I think I think that's pretty much a big deal. It don't get no tougher than that back there. I'm afraid to say. So, oh hey, Doc in the house. Doc's photos. I don't know how many of you guys go, but JP, if you're looking for some cool pictures from the Buddha or whatever, you need to go to docsphotos.com. Rob Lambert on here. Absolutely. Race cast and cornflakes. Yep. And lots of milk and castor. Nothing like the smell of castor and the taste of castor on my cornflakes in the morning. I love it. 4th out of 24. Wow, Bad Brad getting it done. That's awesome. That is super awesome. And then what about Lawton? Is he still rolling? Oh, hey Kevin, you know what, man? You're just not out enough. That's what I think. I mean, I'm sure it's plenty fast. You can't get fast not being in the seat. That's for sure, especially in that class. I mean, you're just there's just no way you're going to get fast not rolling. Nobody is, But Chris Knutson, if he's listening out there, I thought Luke Sullivan was going to go to this 10K to win show, but apparently he says they're not going. So neither is Molly Helmuth. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't go there and run. I mean, that's going to be the best competition there is. I mean, as far as, big names, I think, and as soon as we hear from Garrett, I'm waiting on him to call. He might be a little bit tied up. I don't know. I just talked to him a little bit earlier. But anyway, I don't know why you wouldn't go run there and test your skills against that. You're never going to be ready unless you go do it. But so, yeah, it's wow. But, with that, we got a brief moment. We got to hear from the good folks at O'Hagan's Karts and Supplies. So don't go anywhere. Northwest Race Report will be back in just a few moments. Ask any racer and they'll tell you, crashing sucks. And the only thing worse than crashing is lousy customer service. The staff at O'Hagan's Karts and Supplies are racers themselves and are committed to giving you the kind of service that you need to get your stuff quickly and easily. With their good old-fashioned race shop service, quality parts and safety accessories, and custom fab shop, O'Hagan's is committed to getting you back on the racetrack fast. You want to win. O'Hagan's wants to help. O'Hagan's Karts and Supplies, Atwater, California. 209-201-1829. All right, we're back. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you just tuning in, this is the Northwest Race Report. My name is Terry Bridges, and we are just kind of an hour-long show where we just kind of kick it, and we've got all kinds of results, and, we have a weekly in-the-seat guest that we talk to. And we're just trying to give everybody a good time, and hopefully, you take away a little something from it. If nothing else, you get to bond with some fellow racers and, BS and bench race, which is nothing better than that. And I just think it's a cool thing. So spread the word for me, have them stop by the Northwest Race Report Facebook page. Got some big things coming up. I think I may have to change my name because somebody's already got the Racecast Live. So I just purchased Race Stream Live. So hopefully that's going to work out. And that'll be a page where I can put all my live streaming up, and I'm going to have an embedded deal. So really you guys can you'll be able to go there and click and listen in. It won't be a bunch of, running around kind of maybe like it is now. But I'm going to tell you, Spreaker's a good thing, and it's just handy. They take care of everything, and they update, they do everything. Oh man, JP, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And it's not a lot of shows that focus on the little guy. I mean, let's face it. I don't know what NASCAR did. Maybe somebody can tell me. What happened at Bristol? Where did they actually like stop the race or go off air or something? Because I saw everything going on Facebook that they were like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, NASCAR, are you really doing this? And I didn't really get the whole gist of it. I just kind of I kind of came in late, so I'm not sure what happened. I know they had a big melee. Harvick and I think Harvick and somebody got it. The 18 got into it, but I don't know. Other than that, I don't know what happened. So the Hitman is pre-fishing for the FLW on the Delta. What's the FLW? Is that fly something? It's not fly fishing, is it? They're fishing for like salmon or bass, or I'm not sure what. I'm not a fisherman. Actually, I've been only fishing once in my life, and that was with a stick and a string, and it was at outdoor school in 6th grade, and it was just on the side of a creek. So I know nothing about fishing, nothing, other than it's probably nice to be out, even if you don't catch anything, just to hang out and drink some beer and smoke a cigar with the guys and kind of hang out. But good stuff. With the way the show went, and I'm here's what I wanted to say, and I know I've said this a million times if I've not said it before, but at the opening of the show we lost some good people this week. We lost John Adams, and we lost Marilyn Lehman on the karting side. We lost Steve Burns on the announcer side, and then we also lost Steve Przinski on the flat track bike side. And I guess, where I want to go with this is, and it's good to see Wes Snow, the snowman in the house. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed his great article that we posted last week. But, and I think Wes and I had touched on this in a phone conversation that we had, but it's and I called it tonight, the vital things we forget, and it's the 4 Ps. And I'm just going to tell you, it's perspective, people. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is things can, do, and will happen. And so we get to racing, and we get to looking at, we get to buying all these fancy parts, and we're basically just giving our souls to the sport of motorsports, which is a good thing. But yet, we get out there, and it's like we put our helmets on, and we just kind of forget. Now, and I know we've kind of talked about this on other episodes, but this just kind of hit home, to me, that, basically in a nutshell, we're all a family, and I don't care, who you are or how well people know each other. I mean, if something happened to any one of you guys, I would be devastated. I mean, I may not, like Wes Snow, I don't know him, or Scott Warren, I don't know those guys personally. I've never met them yet, just through Facebook and phone conversations. But, I mean, I would still be devastated if something were to happen to them. And anybody that's in the racing, I mean, you know how it is when it actually happens. Like Steve Burns, look at the effect that guy had on so many people that probably didn't even know him. So I guess what I'm saying, or trying to say here, is, I guess you just got to keep everything in perspective. I mean, it's God, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I mean, we're out there and we're cussing guys, and we're guys are throwing. The one cat throws a torsion bar arm, or a torsion bar at the car, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, now if that guy were to get hit and killed, I mean, yeah, there's some that say, well, personally, my belief is, he gets out of the car and he had a short memory, and so, does he? Well, I mean, he sort of deserves it, but he doesn't. But what I'm saying is, we gotta keep, we gotta promote the sport, but we gotta keep it in perspective. I mean, it's just not good for us to be promoting it and being all excited about it and bringing this gorgeous and beautiful iron out there, and then you go out and you kind of lose your mind, and then you become a knucklehead. It's just, it just doesn't work, and it doesn't work for people, and I don't think it works for the sport, So these guys that are throwing things and getting out of their helmet and throwing a temper tantrum, personally, I just believe there's just no room in the sport for that kind of stuff. I mean, you've got we've got a little bit of a reputation of them. It's already kind of got two strikes. Racing's sort of known. You in the pits. In the old days they used to fight and go crazy, but man, oh man, you just think, man, you just never know. I mean, look at John Adams. He's over there helping a buddy with his boat, and they were just kicking it, and he drops. I mean, just like that. He has a massive heart attack, and, I mean, he's gone. I mean, so anything you were going to say, or you wish you said, or you thought, or, man, I wish I could, it's too late. It's over. And so, before that starts happening, in our group, and our guys, I mean, it's just important that, number one, we should be thankful that we get an opportunity to do this, because there's so many people that don't. And, remember those around you. Remember those that helped you get where you're at. I mean, I've always said, the best thing you can do in racing is never forget where you came from and those that helped you get there. Because if you were to make a list, I don't care how little they provided, if they helped you along the way, you have to list them. That list would be pretty long, I do believe. And I mean, I know mine would. And so I'm just saying we need to keep that in perspective, when we go to the racetrack and we show up. I mean, you've got little kids watching you that I don't think, many people realize. I mean, and like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this just hit me today, especially when I heard that news from John Adams, because John Adams was a good friend of mine. I mean, he was just a good guy, and and it made me feel like, as good a guy as he was and whatever, I didn't try to stay in touch, and I should have checked in. And I did at the time. I put, hey, Dastardly John, is that you, man? I didn't even realize they were talking about the fact that he died. And it wasn't until I went back and I started going through the comments. I'm going, what? This sounds kind of crazy. So I go back and I read the thing, and I find out, he's gone. You're right, JP. I mean, I wasn't a great racer, but I did it for a little bit, but I did it long enough to know that it is darn hard, and it's harder than cars, and people don't get that, I don't think. I did cars and I did and go-karts were way harder to tune than a car, and there's just not, number one, we don't get enough credit for the things that we do. If you're like JP or you're like the Chase clan or the Diottis, those guys take pride in their gear. It shows up. You can eat off of it. It's antiseptic. It's just got pride written all over it. And that's the huge part of it. And it doesn't mean that if your car isn't beautiful and all this, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, take some pride in your ride and take some pride in what you're doing. And when you get there, remember all of our actions are, we're always representing something, whether it's ourselves or a club or the sport or, whatever. And I just think that we all forget sometimes. We just take it for granted. It's easy to do, but we forget we're representing something. So you got people watching you. Our actions always affect others too. It's not just us. There's repercussions everywhere. Man, so and so doesn't like this club now because of this guy that threw a fit and dropping F-bombs and everything else, so yeah, do we get ticked off? We do. But I guess for me, when I started doing my gig and announcing these shows, it was, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a shot at this. I'm gonna try to do it. But you're right, JP. Karting has some of the best people I have ever met. They take care of you at the track. I show up and it's like, have you, it's like having 30 moms there. Have you eaten, Terry? Are you, have you got to eat something. Be sure you're getting plenty of food. And if you say, oh, yeah, it's like they know. So the next thing you know, here comes a plate of food, come on, you got to eat, you got to, and it's just, I remember being at Tri-Cities doing the Nationals. It was like 100 degrees, and it was hotter than heck. And, where I was at, there was no cover. And I remember going over to interview somebody, which you had to walk quite a little ways. It was probably, 75 yards maybe over there. But it was hot, and I remember thinking, oh, man, I got about halfway, and I went, you know what? I'm going down. My head's feeling light. My ears are starting to, I don't know if, I was thinking, man, I am going to go out. But somehow I made it to the fence, and I kind of caught myself, and I slid down, and I looked around to make sure nobody was, I tried to do it as nonchalant. Well, there was Terry Lawrence's mom, Mama Lawrence, and she was like, here it is, So the next thing I know, I'm up and I'm in the thing over there, and I'm getting a cold towel wrapped around me, and it made me feel better. But you've always got people caring for you, and it's awesome. And before anything happens to any one of us, I just want to say that, man, when you go to the track this weekend, just remember, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to screw up. We're all going to, we've all had that, moment where you get in there and you go, man, that hole looked bigger than I thought it was. Oh, crap. I'm in trouble here, and I'm probably going to take this guy out. It's going to happen. And, and I'm just going to say, those are the times you got to remember. Yeah, at the time you're going, what a knucklehead. What's he doing? But try to remember, we've all been there. It's going to happen again. It's, and like I said on the show, it's like a broken record. I know we've talked about this on other shows, but the fact that these 3 people passed this week just really, really, really made me realize, that, man, yeah, could I be doing better? Do I wish I was doing better? Absolutely. Do I wish I was calling more races? Yes, absolutely I do. But yet, in the same time, it's like, you know what? If for whatever reason it ended tomorrow, I would be probably blessed beyond belief over the friendships and the relationships and all of the just wonderful, caring people that I've met and that have helped me throughout my, process of trying to get where I'm at. And it's just, it's cool. It's just really cool. And I don't want to sound like a big softy or, any of that stuff. I'm just trying to say, we are a big family. We represent something pretty darn cool. And I just think we need to take a minute and think about what we're doing when we get to the racetrack. Like Wes says, it's not about winning and losing. It's the time that you spend with those people that you care about. Because, your competitor, as much as he wants to beat you, he feels the same way about the sport as you do, or he wouldn't be there doing, what he's doing. And that's, and I'm not saying that happens all the time. I'm just saying, we just need to keep that in perspective. And like this weekend, it's going to be awesome. 10,000 to win on the line. And, there's going to be, invariably there's going to be some guy that loses his mind over there. It's just it's going to happen when you got that much money on the line and all that, testosterone flowing around there. I mean, somebody's going to lose their mind. I hope that doesn't happen, but we just got to remember we represent something pretty cool, pretty big. It's way bigger than us, and so. That's just kind of that was my main thing for tonight was to, like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I it's just important that people realize you're a celebrity whether you know it or not. You're a celebrity to some little kid who looks up to you. I mean, I can't imagine the Hitman doesn't have lots of little kids, and same with Michael Lawton and Chase and Berg and Wes and all those guys back there. I mean, we're talking about a premier class. It's just like some little kids looking up to you, or I mean, look at like Joel Pinto. I mean, he puts up 2 karts for these guys, and he covers the bills, and I'm sure those guys chip in, and I don't know what the whole scenario is, but nonetheless, that doesn't matter. The fact is that he is, he's putting up some rides for some guys so they can go compete, So with that, there comes a responsibility that we all have, and that's to not only to ourselves, but to the sport, and I just think it's huge anyway. And it sounds like we got some good people chiming in, and really that's what it's, at the end of the day, you might have gotten taken out, you might have, gotten this, but 5 years from now, is that really going to matter? Or even if tomorrow you were laying on your deathbed, we'd all forgive that guy if it meant, another breath. So, those are the things that I just think it's hugely important to keep in mind. But anyway, I'm not sure. It looks like Garrett might have been tied up. He owns a dealership and he owns the racetrack, and so anyway, it sounds like he's probably not going to make it. But we're about ready to run out of time. Like I said, I didn't want to sound like a broken record. I hope I wasn't a downer. We just lost some really good people, and I just thought it was, maybe a time, this show, you're going to hear that stuff. The fundamentals are important, and you may hear some things over and over, but, I'm like any professional athlete, fundamentals are something you can never get enough of, and that's what you always go back to when you're having problems, right? So, let's kick it. But looking forward to the weekend. I hope all you guys tune in. You can hit my Northwest Race Report Facebook page. I'll be over there doing the Leonard Evans 200. Looking forward to doing that. So give me a shout out. It may calm my nerves too a little bit. A little bit, but I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. But I just want to take this minute, too, to thank all of you guys out there that listen in every single week. Man, I am trying to do this, and I just appreciate all the support and all the kind words of encouragement and all that good stuff, and you guys showing up. Like Scott Warning, every week without fail, that guy is here. And, Ryan listening in from a motel room, Ryan Oakes from Virginia, and Wes Snow coming in, right out of work. And, you guys are awesome, man. And I just, like I said, I can't thank you enough, and I appreciate Jennifer, what do I say about you, lady? You're, like, amazing. So, it's just, I just appreciate everything, and I want all of you guys to know that. This show is for you guys, Yeah, I got O'Hagan's a little bit, but spread the word. If you got somebody who wants to advertise with us, it would be helpful. So I've updated things a little bit, so it's there's some costs in there, but so spread the word. I'll make it right with them. It'll be affordable, and I'll try to give them more than their money's worth. But anyway, everybody, I probably kept you a little bit longer than I probably should have, but just wanted to say thanks. I hope everybody kind of takes that to heart. Next week, we'll be back firing up. We're going to have the winner of the Leonard Evans 200 on. And in the meantime, if there's somebody you think is special that should be on the show, man, give me a shout and let's get them on. And because, like I said, this show's for you. But remember, when you go racing this weekend, if somebody's on the bottom, man, don't follow them. Go to the outside. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I love you guys.